Hey guys, Weep here. Welcome back to another video by Variety MMOs. In today's video, we're going to be talking about 10 noob mistakes that people make when first joining solo, or perhaps better known as Sword of Legends Online. So what many people do is they get a mount and then they get a faster mount and then they go for the faster mount. However, this is the incorrect way of doing things. So in solo, the important mount is actually the one you can fly, which is the sword you get at the beginning of the game. Now, most people move away from the sword because, as you can see, it takes a couple seconds to get on it. It kind of moves pretty slowly and it's sluggish. Now, instead of doing this, you could easily get on a different pet, for example, the tiger mount, and you would move significantly faster, like so. So this is what a lot of people end up doing. However, there's a couple of reasons as to why you want to be using the sword. So if you get on the sword, you'll have a boost option. So when you're in the air, make sure you're high up. You can fly basically to almost to infinity height. Double click W to dash forward, or click shift to dash forward to go over buildings and to go from point to point really quickly. This will get you around the map a lot quicker than you ever would on a map that's on the ground. There's also another method of doing this which most people are unaware of. So what you could do is click your middle mouse button to run forward like this, so it dashes, jump, 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 jump on your mount, and you jump on your mount while moving forward in your jump animation, and you take off instantly. This is so much faster than you'll ever be able to achieve on the lower mount. So make sure that you use these methods and use the sword when you're leveling up in Sword of Legends. Okay, so the next tip I want to talk about is not using waypoints. Now, I get most people probably don't use these because they don't understand or aren't aware that they're there. So what happens a lot in solo is you'll open up your quest interface with L, and you're like, well, where do I go? I don't know where the map is. So, for example, I could click here. I can hit show location, and I'm like, well, I don't know where to go. Or I can go back in here, click on here. I don't know where to go. There you obviously can't get to. So let's look to a place. Here we go. So I don't know where to go, and I don't know how to get here. So what you do is you look around the location. If you've been to the map before, you'll notice a location opened up. It doesn't look like we've been here, so this one currently isn't open. So let's do it on a map that has been opened. For example, the village. As you can see here, you have the waypoint. So if you've unlocked the waypoint, you can click on it, and no matter where you are in the game, unless you're in some kind of specific instance, it'll automatically track you to that location, which is very useful for when you're new at the game and you don't understand the locations of the game. So the next mistake I see many people doing is that they aren't using their food correctly. So when you hit about level 14 to 18ish, you get two different quest lands. One for cooking, one for fishing. Now, many people could try doing fishing to get higher level food, and then they find out that it's not feasible early on in the game, so it's best just to ignore the fishing. You want to prioritize the cooking. So when you get a green container in your inventory, you're going to open it up and it's going to give you some stuff, like it's going to give you some meat, it's going to give you some other items, but most importantly, it's going to give you the recipe for the cold noodles. You need to right click the recipe and make sure you use it so you can actually make the item. This is where most people do mess it up. So once you've learned the item, you're going to go to the cook, which is in a different town that you do, but you open it up and you buy a couple of items. Now for this particular item, I believe we need a couple of these, and we need a couple of these, and we need a cabbage. Plus the items that you have inside your inventory. So once you've got these items, you will open up. You'll find your noodles, which are right here under crops. And you're going to make this. This is what the quest asks you to do. And it ends up giving you 4 of these. So what's important is not just these stats, which are honestly quite great for leveling, but the extra XP. So you can make these really easy and get an extra 6% XP, which will help you avoid walls in the game. Sometimes you'll run into XP walls at like level 31 or 33, which is super annoying. So the extra 6% XP really does go a long way. If you want to make more of these, you can open up. You'll have these blue containers that you get from killing monsters. So when you're questing, you're just going to get them. And you're going to open them. And when you open them, they're going to give you stuff like fillet steak, green cabbages, phoenix duck, and stuff like this, which will allow you to make more items. However, to make different items, you need to get recipes, which are too expensive. So make sure You focus on the noodles. Get meat from boxes, buy from trader, get more noodles. Noodles only last 20 minutes each, but you can eat 3 at a time to last an hour. I believe the XP applies to everything, so it's really important to run it when you're getting a lot of XP. Next up, I'm hearing of a lot of people not doing their ancestral records. So when you hit level, I believe it's 24, you'll open up the ancestral records. You do have a lot of stuff in here that even I haven't really done a lot of it, but it's not super important. The main two that you're going to be looking at initially are Bounty Hunter and the Envoy of the Lantern quests. So the Bounty Hunter quest, basically what it wants you to do is you're going to want to open a map. Let's, for example, the Highlands, and you'll see these bounty points. You'll learn more about them in the tutorial, but when you get the tutorial in your cultivation menu, you need to make sure that you go and do it immediately. You also need to make sure that you do the same thing with the lantern. And if you have any problems, just keep in mind that you need the banner and you need the lantern activated to be able to do the quest, which a lot of people seem to fail on. This will give you XP and items that you can use later on, so make sure that you do it. Next up is biographies. So many people open up the biographies with a Control L and they see these biographies here, or they click show the daily quest, because most people just click on that by default. You see daily, you click it. However, the thing is, most people are doing that and not seeing all of the quests, and they're also assuming that you have to complete all of these to, for example, unlock these here, which isn't true at all. Each different one has different requirements to unlock them, and you can see them just by putting your mouse over them. The important thing is here is that you should be doing this when leveling up, but not only that, but you can hit sideways, and there's actually a lot more quests up here that you can do. So this will help you not run into XP wolves along with the food buff in the game. I believe you can also spam some of them for more gold. However, majority of the time you just do them once for the XP gain while leveling up. Another simple but goody mistake that people make is that they, for some reason, forget to put things on their bars, or they just don't pay attention in the quest there because it is a little bit of a chore to quest. So what you do is you click K to open up your skills, go to General, and you have a look down here, and you'll have a bunch of skills. For example, you have your Transfer Rune, which transfers you home, which is nearby a map in everybody's home. You have the Origami, which can get you to the Origami Realm, and you have the Cirrus Drive. The Cirrus Drive will allow you to teleport to anywhere on the map once every 90 minutes. So it's basically an instant teleport across the map. So it's really important that you get this and use this consistently. So this tip may not seem particularly helpful, but it is a mistake that a lot of people make. So when you level up, you're going to get a lot of tutorials on your screen. And to show you what I mean is, for example, this is the kind of interfaces that you're looking at in solo. So when you're leveling up, you're going to get menus all over the place that are going to remind you to use abilities, to do specific quests and stuff like that. And honestly, it can be super intrusive and annoying. Fortunately, in solo, we literally have our own ad blocker. So what you're going to want to do is click block pop-ups. And this will block a lot of the pop-ups from appearing on your screen and quite honestly make your leveling experience much more enjoyable. Alongside that, if you're having any issues like FPS, you can just hit hide players, so it'll get rid of a lot of players as well, so your FPS will be a bit better. Okay, so I touched on this a little bit earlier, but one of the key things that people are missing and ignoring for some reason is the origami. So generally, when you're in solo, you can only jump twice. If you're running, speed running, you can jump higher twice. However, if you've done the origami missions, you can actually jump a third time. So it's effectively getting triple jump. Not only this, but you also unlock the treasures up here, as you can see. So you look around and you know the treasures in that location. So there's plenty of treasures to find. And having triple jump, quite frankly, is worth getting in any game. So what you do is you get the origami at level 14 and it'll teleport you to the dream world. When you're in this dream world, I believe there's a total of 3 quests. 2 of them will be jumping puzzles and 1 of them will be a treasure quest. You only have to do the first of each one. However, I do recommend doing the third one because it really does give you a handle on handling the triple jump in solo. So one of the important things in Sword of Legends is the ability to craft endgame equipment and use materials to build housing and other such frivolous things at the end of the game. A lot of these things do require materials, recipes, ingredients, and a lot of other itty bitty parts that you need to collect over a long period of time to obtain. I see a lot of people leveling without picking up gathering materials, which kind of confuses me as to why people are doing it, whether or not they're on the sword or they're just not paying attention. However, if you are going on your sword as you should be, you should look around as you're questing and you should see items like... So what we're looking for is aha, perfect. So what we're looking for is this. So if you go up and click H on and hopefully not get attacked, it'll give us a crafting material. So let's see what we get. So we got some raw stones. So not only can you get raw stones, but you can get gold mud, you can get heartstrings, and various other items. So it's really important that when you're running around, keep an eye out for these ingredients. They're not even difficult to see, as you saw, because they're nice and highlighted for the average person like me, who's pretty blind when gathering stuff. Okay, so the last tip for today would be about dungeons. So you'll get a couple of quests that'll ask you to do practice or drill. No matter what it says, whether it says practice or drill on the quest line, it does mean to go into drill. What this means is that it's a solo dungeon aimed at a solo level. However, when you're entering the instance, you can bring along your companions, which you do get throughout your questing career. Not only this, but if you find somebody and right click their name and go team, you can invite them into the party and they can follow you into the dungeon and you can take multiple people into a solo dungeon. Be aware it does scale depending on how many people you got in there, but generally if you have people actually pulling the weight, it is faster to do it as multiple people than it is as a solo. So that covers the 10 top noob mistakes that I found in solo in beta 2. Hopefully this video helps you avoid some of the pit holes that many other people have fallen in. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.